The internet accused him of cheating. Twice. First at Pebble Beach, when a 20-minute delay allegedly iced Collin Morikawa out of a victory he had in his grasp. Then, at the Genesis Invitational, when a 6-shot lead nearly evaporated and fans swore they saw the same pattern all over again. Asked Morikawa directly about the man who'd beaten him at Pebble and watched him crumble at Riviera. And Morikawa's response? It wasn't angry, it wasn't defensive, it was something far more devastating. Subscribe for the full story of the cheating scandal that won't die and the quiet dagger that just ended it. It started at Pebble Beach, February 15, 2026, the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Jacob Bridgeman was 2 shots back of the lead, going for an eagle on Pebble's famous ocean-lined 18th fairway. He went for it. Of course he did. He had to. But the shot went wide left, to the beach. What happened next sparked the first wave of controversy. Bridgeman took more than 20 minutes analyzing his options from the rocky sand, while leader Collin Morikawa stood in the fairway, waiting, iced, frustrated. Bridgeman's next shot went off a rock and bounced back toward the ocean. More mess, more delays, more waiting for Morikawa. I'm looking back there, looking at him pacing around, knowing that they're just frustrated, Bridgeman recalled after the round. Last thing I want to do is ice Collin and get him to mess up, so I'm glad it ended the way it did. The way it ended, Morikawa finally hit, birdied, and won the tournament. Bridgeman made a miracle bogey. But the damage was done. On social media, fans accused Bridgeman of gamesmanship, of deliberately slowing play, of icing the eventual champion. He knew exactly what he was doing, one fan tweeted. That's not a rookie mistake, that's strategy. The controversy faded until the next Sunday, when Bridgeman found himself paired with Rory McIlroy, leading another signature event, when his 6-shot lead nearly evaporated and fans swore they saw the same pattern all over again. The icing accusations returned with a vengeance. The phrase Bridgeman rules trended briefly, and the man at the center of the first incident, Collin Morikawa, suddenly found himself being dragged back into a conversation he'd long since moved past.
February 22, 2026. Riviera Country Club. Final round. Jacob Bridgeman started the day with a 6-shot lead over Rory McIlroy. After 3 holes, he extended it to 7. The tournament seemed over. The rookie was cruising to his first PGA Tour victory at one of golf's most prestigious events, hosted by Tiger Woods himself. Then, something shifted. Bridgeman played the front 9 an even par, birdies at 1 and 3, bogeys at 4 and 7. Still, the lead held. But on the back 9, the wheels started to wobble. McIlroy, despite his own putting struggles, began applying pressure. He birdied 11 and 12, the latter coming from a stunning bunker hole out that electrified the gallery. Meanwhile, Kurt Kitayama was charging from behind, birdieing 4 holes on the back 9. Bridgeman made bogey at the par 3 16th after finding the bunker, then par at the gettable par 5 17th. The lead that had been 7 strokes just hours earlier was now 1. I couldn't feel my hands on the last few greens, Bridgeman admitted afterward. I hit that putt on 18 hoping it would get somewhere near the hole. That final putt, 3.5 feet, would determine everything. He left his first putt from 19 feet, 3 feet short, drawing gasps from the gallery. But he composed himself and rattled in the 3-footer to seal the win. It was honestly easy until I got to about 16, and then it got really hard, Bridgeman said. The victory was his, but the internet wasn't celebrating. They were analyzing. Within hours, clips of Bridgeman's deliberate pace on the back 9 were everywhere. Comparisons to the Pebble Beach icing incident flooded timelines. He did it again, one viral post read. Iced McIlroy just like he iced Morikawa. This is a pattern. The phrase, Bridgeman rules, trended briefly, a sarcastic reference to the rookie's deliberate pace of play. But here's what the viral clips missed. McIlroy and Bridgeman were spotted chatting casually on the 12th fairway, walking side by side.
Christopher Powers, a golf journalist, tweeted, "Rory and Jacob Bridgeman chatting it up as they walked down the 12th fairway, not applying the Bryson method today." The contrast was stark. At the 2025 Masters, Bryson DeChambeau revealed that McIlroy didn't speak to him once during the final round. "He was just being focused, I guess," DeChambeau said. But at Riviera, with a signature event on the line, McIlroy was chatting comfortably with his playing partner. Why the difference? Some fans saw proof that Bridgman's slow play wasn't gamesmanship, it was just a rookie learning to handle pressure. Others saw something more complicated. Either way, Collin Morikawa was about to be dragged back into a conversation he'd long since moved past, and when a reporter finally asked him about it, his answer would change everything. Collin Morikawa was done with the Genesis Invitational. He'd finished tied for 11th, a respectable result, but far from the victory he'd tasted at Pebble Beach just weeks earlier. His focus had already shifted to the Arnold Palmer Invitational, the Players' Championship, the Masters. The Bridgeman controversy was someone else's problem. Then a reporter asked the question, "Collin, given what happened at Pebble Beach, and then watching Jacob Bridgman's win at Riviera with all the talk about slow play and icing accusations, do you have any thoughts on how he handled himself in that final round?" The room got quiet. Cameras zoomed in. Everyone expected Morikawa to dodge, deflect, offer a non-answer about focusing on his own game. He didn't. "You know what? I'm going to be honest here," Morikawa began, his voice steady but carrying an edge that caught everyone off guard. "I've watched it, I've thought about it, and here's what I'll say. Golf is hard. It's really hard. When you're out there with a lead, with the pressure of winning your first PGA Tour event, at Riviera, with Tiger watching, with Rory pushing you, things happen. You slow down, you get nervous, your hands shake. That's not gamesmanship, that's being human." He paused, letting the words sink in. "At Pebble, I waited. I waited a long time, and you know what? I still won. I birdied the last hole and won the tournament. So if Jacob's slow play was some kind of master plan to ice me out, it didn't work very well, did it?" A few reporters laughed nervously. Morikawa pressed on. "Look, I get it. Fans want drama. They want villains. They want someone to be mad at. But Jacob Bridgman is 26 years old, playing the best golf of his life, and people are tearing him apart because he took an extra few seconds over putts? Come on." Then came the moment that would define the entire exchange. "Here's what I'll say to anyone who wants to call him a cheater. Go out there and try it yourself. Go stand on the 16th tee at Riviera with a one-shot lead and tell me how steady your hands are. Go wait 20 minutes on a beach at Pebble Beach while your playing partner sizes up a shot and tell me how calm your heart is. Golf is hard. What Jacob did, winning twice, holding off Rory, handling all that pressure, that's impressive. Not suspicious, impressive." The room sat in stunned silence. Morikawa had just done something almost unheard of in professional sports. He'd defended a rival who was being publicly attacked, even though that rival had directly impacted his own tournament. When asked if he'd reached out to Bridgman personally, Morikawa smiled. "Not yet, but maybe I should. Kid's got a bright future. Last thing he needs is the internet trying to tear him down before he's even really started." The interview ended. The clip spread within hours, and just like that, the cheating scandal that had dominated golf headlines for weeks was over.
The clip spread faster than anyone expected. Within hours, Collin Morikawa's defense of Jacob Bridgman had been viewed millions of times across every social media platform, and just like every other moment in this saga, the internet split into warring factions. The Morikawa supporters hailed him as a class act. "This is how champions handle things," one fan tweeted. "No drama, no bitterness, just respect for how hard this game is." Another added, "Collin just did what no one else would do. Stood up for a kid getting torn apart by people who've never held a golf club." The Bridgman defenders felt vindicated. "Finally, someone with actual credibility says what we've been saying all along," a Reddit user posted.
The cheating accusations were always ridiculous. Morikawa just confirmed it. The skeptics weren't convinced. Some pointed out that Morikawa had already won at Pebble Beach. Maybe that made it easier to be gracious. Easy to defend the guy when you already beat him, one comment read. Ask Rory how he feels about waiting on every shot. But most of the golf world seemed to rally around Morikawa's message. PGA Tour pros who had stayed silent during the controversy suddenly found their voices. Justin Thomas tweeted a simple clap in response to the clip. Rickie Fowler called it classy in an Instagram story. Even Rory McIlroy, when asked about Morikawa's comments at a pre-tournament press conference, offered a rare moment of agreement. "Collin said it better than I could have," McIlroy said. "Jacob's a good player. He's got a bright future. The stuff online, that's just noise. He handled it well. We should all move on." The media narrative shifted overnight. Outlets that had spent weeks analyzing every slow-motion clip of Bridgman's routine suddenly pivoted to stories about sportsmanship and perspective. The cheating scandal that had dominated headlines was quietly retired. But the most interesting reaction came from Bridgman himself. When asked about Morikawa's comments during a pre-tournament interview at Bay Hill, the 26-year-old rookie seemed genuinely moved. "I saw it. I didn't expect that. Collin didn't have to say anything. He could have stayed quiet, let people keep talking. But he didn't. That says everything about who he is." He paused, collecting his thoughts. "People don't realize how hard this is. You're out there alone. Every shot is analyzed, every decision is questioned. And when you're winning, sometimes people want to tear you down instead of build you up. Collin reminded me that there are good people in this game, people who get it. That means more than he'll ever know." For a moment, the controversy that had defined Bridgman's breakout season faded into the background. What remained was something simpler. Two competitors, one moment of grace, and a reminder that golf at its best is more than trophies. So where does this leave us? A cheating scandal that never really existed? A rookie who handled more pressure in 3 weeks than most players face in a lifetime? And a two-time major champion who stepped up to defend a rival when silence would have been easier? Morikawa's words didn't just end a controversy. They revealed something deeper about the state of professional golf and the people who play it. For Jacob Bridgman, the vindication is real, but the scars remain. He'll carry the memory of those weeks, the accusations, the hashtags, the endless online scrutiny for the rest of his career. But he'll also carry Morikawa's words. When the doubts creep in, when the pressure mounts, when the internet starts screaming again, he'll remember that one of the best players in the world saw him, understood him, and stood up for him. That matters more than any trophy. For Collin Morikawa, the moment reinforced something he's always believed, that character matters as much as scorecards. He didn't have to speak. He could have let the controversy fade on its own, but he chose to use his platform for something bigger than himself. That's the kind of leadership that defines legacies. For the fans and media, the episode serves as a reminder that we don't always know what we think we know. Slow play isn't cheating. Nervousness isn't gamesmanship. The people we watch on television are human beings, fighting battles we can't see, carrying pressures we can't imagine. The Jacob Bridgman hashtag still exists in dark corners of the internet. The slow play accusations still echo in comment sections, but they carry less weight now. Morikawa's voice, calm and credible, cut through the noise in a way that outrage never could. Jacob Bridgman will tee it up at Bay Hill, then Sawgrass, then Augusta. He'll carry a world ranking that's climbed from obscurity to the top 20. He'll carry a FedEx Cup lead that puts him in contention for the biggest prize in golf. And now, thanks to Collin Morikawa, he'll carry something else. The knowledge that in a sport built on individual achievement, he's not entirely alone. The cheating scandal is over. The friendship, or whatever this becomes, is just beginning. And for everyone who watched this saga unfold, there's a lesson worth remembering. Sometimes the most powerful statement isn't an accusation,
it's a defense. For more coverage of the biggest stories in golf, subscribe and hit the notification bell.